actually write and talk about women's issues quite a bit, and I was going to do that today, but then I thought about something that happened to me yesterday on Facebook, and I'm going to talk about that situation. I have a friend, he is also a writer. He writes about instant messaging. We all write about specific topics, and I write about women's issues for About.com. He is a lovely man. He seems conservative. He's from Texas, but he's just a charming, sweet person. And yesterday on Facebook, he said, I know I've been posting a lot about the man that I'm in love with, and it seems like I have a lot of gay pride, but he said, I'm comfortable talking about it now. And it was his first opportunity to come out in a very public way. And because he did it on Facebook, obviously the people who responded to him were those who were very positive and very supportive, and I guess the people who had issues kept their mouths shut. But it was hard for him to do this because he is a conservative Christian, because a lot of his friends, I will use the label redneck, and I hate to do it, but they tend to be very anti-gay. And when I had a chance to converse with him off Facebook, off of his wall, I sent him a personal message, and I said, you know, I think that a lot of who we are and how we are formed has to do with whether or not we are authentic and whether we can feel comfortable being authentic. And I told him the story of when I realized someone else's authenticity and realized that my acceptance of that had to do with my issues, not his issues. The story is this. When I was growing up in high school, I had a friend, my best friend, his name was Don Pike. We had actually dated briefly, and he was the first guy I ever kissed. I didn't like him in that way, and it was sort of like, oh, ruin a good friendship with a kiss, but we managed to work through that, and we ended up staying friends. Don was just the most loving, giving, terrific person. He saw for a while that I was working as a waitress in a Greasy Spoon, and I hated the job, and he was working at a women's clothing store as the stock boy. He said, I'll get you a job there, and he did, and he always just went out of his way to help me. Well, he went off to college, so did I, and freshman year he came home in the summer, and he sat on my porch with me, and he was beautifully dressed. I mean, he had a pair of tight, skinny jeans and this lavender silk shirt. His hair was perfectly styled. He smelled so good, better than me. And we sat on the porch drinking iced tea, and he said to me, Linda, he said, I have something to tell you. I said, yes. He said, I don't know if you're aware of it. He said, but I'm gay, and I finally decided to come out. And I know I was shocked. I know I was just very surprised. And I think I made some pleasant small talk and acted as if everything was normal. And then he went home, and I went and wandered through the house in the dark. This was about 2 in the morning. And I suddenly decided to go open up my parents' bedroom and sit on the floor of their bedroom. Just sit there quietly. I just didn't want to be alone, and I didn't know what to say or to think. Well, my father must have heard me come in. And he rolled over in bed, and he said, what's up? And I said, oh, nothing. I said, Don told me something tonight. And my father said, he told you he was gay, didn't he? And I stopped. I said, yeah, how did you know? He said, I know you, and I know Don, and I know your relationship, and I know that you know everything about him. What is Don's favorite color? I said, that's easy, red. And my father said, okay, tonight you went into your conversation with Don believing that his favorite color was red. And he told you his favorite color is blue. And you were shocked and surprised because you thought that his favorite color was red. But that's all it is. It's a preference. Do you understand that? You went into tonight thinking Don liked women, and Don told you he liked men. All it is a preference. He said, Don hasn't changed. Nothing about him is different. The only thing is your perception of him is different. You thought he liked the color red, and he likes the color blue. And that, for me, was the defining moment of acceptance and understanding and realizing that when we are talking about an issue that primarily has to deal with love, it is a preference. And for me to react as I do, or for anyone to react as they do, is a lack of understanding. We make assumptions, and in this world, the default position is heterosexual. Is that right? Is that wrong? It's the way it is. But we can all be open-minded, and we can all look at the world as if people have preferences, and sometimes those preferences are no different than a color preference. And if we can look at each other in that way, and if we can be open to somebody's different color preference than our own, perhaps we can be open to their sexuality preferences and not judge, not make assumptions, but just say, you're still the person I know, you're still the person I love, and I accept that. And that's my story.